seen Anthony Joshua break his public silence for the first time since the crash. In a post that was shared to Instagram, the world heavyweight champion released an image alongside what appears to be perhaps the parents of Gami and Ayodele, offering a quiet but powerful tribute to two men
that people came out to show their respects, but they also came out to support Anthony Joshua, because what must he be going through?
The boxing world was left stunned when Anthony Joshua broke down emotionally during the funeral service for Sina Gami and Lateef Yodela, after being discharged from a Nigerian hospital where he had been recovering from the crash. Joshua immediately returned to London to attend the service at the London Central Mosque. This moment marked the first time the public had seen the normally calm and controlled heavyweight champion completely overcome with emotion. The loss clearly struck him far deeper than anyone expected, revealing the true weight of what he had been carrying inside. Boxing commentator Spencer Farron witnessed something incredibly powerful at the funeral. He described a moment of quiet connection between Frank Bruno and Anthony Joshua that said more than words ever could. At the London Central Mosque, surrounded by prayers and mourners, Joshua was no longer a global sports icon. He was simply a grieving man, saying goodbye to two people who meant everything to him.
Out, because I wasn't going to go say anything to him. I was walking out, then I got tapped on the shoulder. I turned around, it was Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? And we had a brief chat and a little embrace and that. And then I left. But it was, funerals are never good.
When Joshua finally spoke out on social media after leaving the hospital and attending the funeral, his words were brief but deeply meaningful. In an Instagram photo, he stood alongside the grieving families of both men. The caption included just 4 words: "My brother's keeper." Nothing more needed to be said. Those few words reflected the depth of the bond he shared with Sina and Lateef, and showed how personal this loss truly was for him.
Is Anthony Joshua's first post since the tragic accident, okay? This came from his social media, and of course, if you guys didn't see it in the preview of the video, it was simple but strong and powerful, and it stated, "My brother's keeper." And in this situation, it means that he's going to take care of everything. He's responsible for his brother.
The Instagram post Joshua shared after the tragedy revealed exactly where his head and heart were. Standing among the mourning families of Sina Gami and Lateef Yodela, his caption, "My brother's keeper," was not written for attention or sympathy. It was a promise, a vow to honor their memory and carry them with him for the rest of his life. The emotion in that moment had nothing to do with belts, victories, or fame. It showed the human side of Joshua, stripped of everything else.
Happiness, giving yourself a true blessing is actually making into this earth. Everyone dies at some stage. So I think across the board, one has to be happy inside. No matter about the material possession one owns, how that's a car and a driving. Very, very careful of other people we choose to hang around with and associate them, because you soon become like the people who spend most of their time.
The sheep come that comes around with lions, she receive with an eye. So pick your friends and your circle wisely. Much as the kids is, they start to flourish and grow, and blossom, and rather than perish, made away and die. So look at the environment, it's the same.
Former boxer Johnny Nelson offered insight that truly captured Joshua's pain. He explained that Joshua hadn't just lost members of his team. He had lost people who were like family. These were men he trusted completely, people who stood beside him through every stage of his career. Their deaths shattered him. This wasn't professional loss. It was personal. Losing brothers leaves a wound that never fully heals, and Nelson made it clear that this kind of grief changes a person forever.
Young men that lost their lives and their families, how it's affected their families. So you want to concentrate on AJ. How's it going to affect AJ? Instead of concentrating on how's it affected the people that have lost their.
These are the moments that stay with survivors of sudden tragedy. When someone you love dies without warning, your mind fills with questions that can never be answered. For someone like Anthony Joshua, who has trained his entire life to face danger inside the ring, this kind of emotional pain is unfamiliar territory. Strength and discipline cannot protect you from grief. No amount of physical power prepares anyone for this kind of loss. Hearing Anthony Joshua speak after the funeral made it clear that this experience has reshaped how he sees life. When you take away the titles, the money, and the fame, what remains is a man who has learned a painful truth. The people who stand by you, who believe in you, and who share your journey matter more than anything else. Losing Sina Gami and Latifio Della so suddenly forced Joshua to confront what truly matters in this world.
Yet it's always the people that are the best are, you know what I mean, that end up going first. You know, and you examine like, well, why wasn't it me, or why did this have?
Even Gerald Miller, who has had a long and bitter rivalry with Joshua, expressed genuine sympathy. In moments like this, competition no longer matters. When tragedy strikes at this level, all rivalries fade into the background. Miller's reaction showed that some pain goes far beyond sport. It doesn't care about records, titles, or past conflicts. Heartbreak of this kind is something everyone understands on a human level.
I don't know what other people are going through. And even though AJ...
Johnny Nelson also made another point that struck a deep chord. Beyond the headlines and media attention, real families lost loved ones. This tragedy didn't only affect Joshua, it devastated entire families in a single moment. That reality forces everyone to pause and reflect on how fragile life truly is. When faced with genuine loss, all the small worries and arguments we usually focus on suddenly feel meaningless.
Sad, it just makes you realise how valuable life is and how things can change in a heartbeat. So when we talk about fights and we talk about beefs and, you know, these things are just nothing when it comes to real life and losing your life. So it was a sad thing to hear, a sad thing to see. God knows how it'll affect those that saw it mentally, emotionally. But you've got to think about these two men who were somebody's child, someone's brother. And that's what you've got to think about, those people that have lost their lives.
Analysis from pro boxing fans about the crash itself highlighted just how sudden and violent the impact was. Joshua has endured punishment from some of the hardest punchers in heavyweight boxing, but surviving a collision that instantly took the lives of two close friends is a completely different kind of trauma. The emotional and mental scars from that moment will go far deeper than any physical injury he has ever faced.
There's such a severe car accident there. Like, all right, he's lucky enough to still be alive, but fuck me, his body must be going through a lot right there. This is not a man who winces in pain easily, right? He gets punched for a living. And obviously, like, you're supposed to take people out of car accidents like that with great care because you don't...
The legal side of this tragedy adds yet another painful layer. Nigerian authorities have charged the driver involved with dangerous driving after the Lexus carrying Joshua and his team crashed into a stationary truck. While the focus remains on supporting Joshua and honoring the memory of Sina Gami and Latifio Della, it is impossible to ignore that this was caused by reckless behavior. In Nigeria, causing death through dangerous driving can lead to serious prison time, underscoring how preventable this tragedy should have been.
Image of both of them together. Now, Nigerian police sources has indicated that Adeniyi will be facing some serious felony charges for reckless driving. And I know a lot of you guys are curious, such as I, on, you know, what would be the punishment or the penalty for reckless driving in Nigeria. So I looked it up. And if you are a reckless driver in Nigeria and you cause a fatality on a federal road, that is up to
Journalist Gareth A. Davies pointed out something that truly gets to the heart of Joshua's situation. This is not about the minor physical injuries he survived. The real damage is psychological. Joshua lived through a crash that instantly killed two people he considered family, his strength coach Sina Gami and his trainer Latifio Della. While his body healed, the emotional pain will never fully leave him. Surviving when your brothers didn't create a unique burden. Those moments will replay in his mind, and the joy he once found in boxing and life will never feel quite the same again.
So Anthony Joshua appeared on chat shows, crossed over as a celebrity, a fighter, without being a celeb.
Promoter Eddie Hearn spoke about the responsibility Joshua has taken on since the accident. Despite his own grief, Joshua made it clear that supporting the families of the victims was his priority, and he has committed fully to that promise. Sina Gami and Latifio Della were not just colleagues. They were brothers who shared every triumph and setback with him. Now, Joshua is making sure their families know they are not alone. This reflects a level of character that has nothing to do with sport and everything to do with loyalty and compassion.
Dealing with the inquiries and the media, and you can imagine how many people are trying to find out.
John Fury's message of support for Joshua echoed what millions around the world were feeling. There was relief that Joshua survived, mixed with deep sorrow for what he endured. His words reminded everyone how quickly life can change. For someone used to controlling danger inside the ring, surviving a crash that killed two close friends is a brutal reminder that emotional pain can cut deeper than any punch. Behind the strong exterior is a man now carrying grief and survivors, guilt that will stay with him forever.
Lucky lad, God bless you, I'm glad you're alive again. Shocked me, it has. Terrible. Anyway, good luck everybody, and try and enjoy the new year as much as you can and be safe.
The emotion shown by Tyson Fury put everything into perspective. Even as Gareth A. Davies discussed Joshua's possible future fights, it became clear how empty those conversations felt after such a loss. Before the accident, fans debated opponents and career plans. But when death takes people who were like family, none of that matters anymore. Joshua's life changed instantly on that Nigerian highway. His focus is no longer on rankings or titles, but on healing, mental well-being, and honoring the memory of his fallen brothers. Fury's response replaced rivalry with compassion, reminding everyone that in moments like these, humanity matters more than sport.